Hey everybody, this is your professor Elena Koch. I wanted to go through some things on our syllabus with you so that you have an even better understanding of what the course is going to be about this semester. Um, by now you might have watched the welcome video, so you know a little bit about the class. If you haven't watched that yet, please do so. Here's a little bit about me. My email is at the top of the page here, and that really is the easiest way to reach me. I will be checking my email on a regular basis, particularly on weekdays. So if you email me and I don't get back to you within the next 24 hours, shoot me another email just to make sure that it got through. So the course description is here. As you know, this is a class that covers literature, American literature from the post-Civil War era to the present. We will be spending most of our time with fiction, and we'll also be reading some poetry. Take a look at these course objectives when you have some time. As you know about an online class, this will demand a lot of independent, motivated work. Because it's a summer class, we have literally half the time to accomplish what we need to accomplish. So the course will be fast-paced. We'll cover the same amount of work that we cover in a regular section. That's required of us. So be prepared for a lot of reading on your own time, as well as carefully managing the time it'll take to post to the discussions and write short weekly papers and so on. The nice thing is that you can do this at your convenience, in your pajamas, at home, or wherever you have a good online section, but you will need to put that time in. Okay, so generally here's what you should expect every week. And this is on the bottom of the first page of the syllabus. Generally, you'll have the first half of the week to complete the reading, or at least the vast majority of the reading. By Wednesday at noon, you'll be making a detailed post about the reading assignment in D2L discussions. There's more on that later. By Fridays at noon, you will have read what your classmates have written and respond to at least 2 of your colleagues' posts. And show that you've thought about the ideas that they're sharing. There'll be a weekly quiz due every Friday night just before midnight. Those should be pretty easy as long as you've done the reading. And then by Saturday, you'll have a 1 to 2 page response paper due. Again, there'll be more details about each of these later, but that's how the work is spread out. All deadlines, by the way, are Central Standard Time. So if you're working with us from another part of the country, you'll need to keep those deadlines in mind. Okay, so you should have the Norton Anthology of American Literature, the shorter 8th edition, Volume 2, as well as your copies of The Great Gatsby and The Underground Railroad. The bookstore probably has the hardback cover of The Underground Railroad. The paperback edition would work as well. The page numbers might be just slightly off, but we can work with that. I do recommend that you have paper, hard copies of all of these books. Because the research shows that we tend to process and comprehend and retain information better on paper. I'll leave that to your judgment. I also want to let you know that many of these texts that are in the book can be found online, but they won't have the same page numbers. So for a few reasons, it would be easier if you do have this edition of the textbook that's available in our bookstore, or you could also find it online from an online book dealer. There'll be additional things posted in our course website on D2L for you to read on occasion. And I also recommend that you read with a good dictionary, because a lot of the vocabulary, especially in the older texts, might be new to you. Obviously, you'll need to have regular access to a computer with a strong internet connection. Many of you, I assume, will be working from home on your own technology, but I highly recommend that you have backup plans when those summer storms come through and knock power out. That seems to happen at my house every summer. Make sure you know about the computer access at your local library or at the Prairie State College campus or other places where you would be able to get online and complete the course. There's a little bit about hardware here for you to review and software. And obviously our course, because it's an online course, will be taking place entirely on Desire to Learn, or D2L. If you haven't used that before this summer, just take some time to get to know it. It's pretty user-friendly. Let me know if you have any questions. And then, of course, your Prairie State email account. All official college correspondence should be happening through your email account, through your PSC email account. You can send me email through D2L, but you cannot read my responses through D2L. So you would need to open up your Prairie State email account to read any responses. There's some information about grading here on the bottom of page 2 about how the class is broken down and what grades mean. I think those things are self-explanatory, so I'm just going to keep moving ahead. This is about the college-wide general education learning outcomes that we've established as a faculty at Prairie State, about things we think all of our students should have at the end of their associate's degree. So these are the things, the general learning outcomes that you should have developed, or at least made progress on as the course is completed. All right, so general responsibilities. I've already mentioned number 1, make a serious time commitment to the class. Most classes require 9 to 12 hours of class and homework each week, but again, because we're moving twice as fast in a summer class, you should plan to spend 18 to 24 hours a week on this class. So it's really like a half-time job. And plan to break that time into multiple sessions. Obviously, you can't do all that in 1 or 2 days. You will need to do a lot of reading this summer. Hopefully you'll find the reading fun. We're going to be reading some great works of literature this semester that I'm really, really excited about. Plan to read slowly and carefully and thoughtfully. Some of the texts are going to be more difficult than others and will demand some extra care and attention. But you will be expected to share your thoughts about the texts in our discussions every week. It's okay if you have questions. It's okay if there are things that are confusing. That's natural for a lot of these texts, so you can just ask your questions when we have discussions. So some pointers, some tips here for your success with your reading. Try to read when you can really focus on the text. I know we live in a time with a lot of distractions, but find a time and place where you can minimize those distractions as much as you can. I've already mentioned B, read printed materials when possible. C is to take notes, annotate your text, take notes in the book. If that's not possible, take notes on sticky notes that you can put on the pages, take notes on papers, write things down as you read them to help improve your memory. Think of your reading as a conversation you're having with the author, so keep up your end of the conversation with the notes that you're taking. I'll be providing reading guides with discussion questions and things like that, so use those. That should help your reading. Don't take shortcuts. Reading those awful internet cheating sites is not really going to help you in this class. It's not the same. It's not nearly the same as reading the text, so don't plan to take shortcuts. And as I've mentioned already, read with a dictionary. I wanted to just highlight real quickly the fact that there will be some course content that is adult level. It's the nature of a college literature course, especially 20th and 21st century literature, to encounter some material that is a little bit graphic, that is a little bit challenging and sensitive. We'll always approach that material as scholars. Let me know if you have any questions about that. After reading, there will also be videos to watch. The videos typically are 10 to 15 minutes long, just like this one, and will cover important information about the literature we're reading. This is the kind of information that I would provide in class in the form of a short lecture in the first part of a class. So those videos are extremely important. Material from the videos will be covered in your weekly quizzes and the final exam. 4. Take discussions seriously. This is going to be the best part of the class. We're going to be posting our ideas in the discussions, sharing our own insights and questions and reactions, and everybody is going to be coming to this class with different backgrounds and different ideas, so we're really going to learn from the way that other students react to the text. I'm really excited about this part of the class. It's my favorite part. So I'll tell you more about that later, but you'll need to take those discussions seriously. 5, you'll need to do some writing to demonstrate what you've learned. I'll guide you through that. And then 6, as I've mentioned before, just communicate with me whenever you have any questions. If I need to communicate with you as a class, I'll post announcements on D2L. If I have any individual communications, though, I'll be emailing you through your PSC email. Make sure you let me know whenever you have any questions at all. I do check my email frequently. Here in this part of the syllabus are some guidelines about email etiquette. These are pretty common sense, but take a look at those. Okay. Under the assignment section, you'll see a breakdown of the individual kinds of assignments that we have this summer. And on D2L, under Essential Course Documents, you'll find more information about these things. I also will have a separate video for you on the discussions and on the response papers. Note that the first quiz you'll take is about this very syllabus, and it's open note, so watching this video should help you with that. At the end of the semester, you'll pick one of your informal responses to expand on and turn it into the 3 to 5 page essay, and then there will be a 2-part final exam. The late work policy is here. We will need to really watch those deadlines so that we're always prepared to move on to the next section of the class. So if your papers are late, they'll earn a 20% penalty and will not be accepted after the following day. If you ever need an extension because of illness or some other kind of serious life event, make sure to email me to ask for that extension before the deadline. And you'll always be expected to check my feedback on any graded material. So don't forget to follow up on papers that I have graded and returned to you via D2L. If you're new to D2L, please check out these links to help you with some basic things. And if you ever have a technological problem this semester, please use this help desk link or this phone number, this email address to ask them your technical questions. Here's a note about submitting papers on D2L. Take a look at that. By now, if you're taking a 200 level class, you have already taken English 101 and you know that plagiarism is not acceptable in college writing. Remember to always put quotation marks around other writers' words and to always give credit, to always provide a citation to let us know who your source is. We'll review that a little more later. Here's some information about MLA citation. Remember not to recycle essays. It's not allowed to simply upload a paper that you wrote in high school to get credit in a college class. Okay, I've listed some common college resources you might need here in the bottom of, what page are we on here? Page 6. Take a look at these, or let me know if you have any questions and I can help get you to the right place. And then the rest of this document is our course schedule. You'll see detailed lists of everything that you're expected to read for the week, as well as a list of deadlines. Right now, this might look really daunting. This might look like a whole ton of work that's going to be difficult to complete, but I promise that if you break it down into manageable chunks, this is very doable. The vast majority of my previous students in these online classes have done well as long as they manage their time really, really well. So we'll take it one week at a time, but you do have the whole tentative schedule laid out for you here. If any changes need to be made, I will be making announcements about those changes on D2L. One thing that you definitely need to have in your schedule is this final exam. The last day of the class is Thursday, August 1st. I am making your exam due at literally the last minute available of the class, so make sure that you plan for that. So there is the course syllabus. That was a lot of information. Please read it over more carefully and let me know if you have any questions. The most important thing I want you to know right now is that we're going to be reading some really great literature this summer, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about the material that we read. I hope you have a great summer term.